it's Jem here. Thank you YouTube for joining me for what is a personality disorder. In this video I'm going to be breaking down the term personality and the term disorder. I'm then going to give a nice overview of the signs and symptoms or character traits of personality disorders. Now I just want to quickly say that there are 10 personality disorders in total. They all have their own different signs and symptoms or traits that make them what they are, but there are areas that all personality disorders overlap. There's sort of particular areas that are affected across all personality disorders, and I'm going to give those out because I want to, at the end of this video, to have a really good understanding of what a personality disorder is and what it means when we have a disordered personality. So I want to explain personality first of all. Excuse me. Taken this information from verywell.com, a website dedicated to exploring all aspects of maintaining a healthy, balanced life and body. So there's information from doctors on there, personal trainers, dietitians, etc. Really good website, and a really useful excuse me, article on there about personality disorders, or what is a personality. So there's 3 different areas in this article that this person discusses personalities, and I'm going to go through those now to help you understand. So I think if you understand what personality means, you'll understand how personalities can become disorders, having an impact on our life. So what is meant by the term personality? Well, it's actually taken from the Latin word persona, which refers to a theoretical mask worn by performers in order to either project different roles or disguise their identities. So what does that mean? Well, let's think about the theoretical masks that we wear. So we may wear a mask to work to make us remain professional at all times and make sure that we're behaving appropriately, but that mask may be different to the mask that we put on maybe when we are out on the town or out with our friends. It might be that you even wear a mask to disguise how you're feeling. So sometimes I've had to put on a smiley mask when maybe inside I'm completely and utterly, dying and feeling completely lonely and depressed. Or I might, be kind of, sort of covering up, overcompensating by putting a mask on. So that's one area, that's one way in which we can look at personality, and the fact that we have a persona that we project, or one that we maybe disguise. The second way we can think about a personality disorder refers to the individual characteristic patterns of thought, emotions and behaviours. Now I thought this one was really good because it refers very much to my one of my early videos, what is mental illness, and saying that it comes from disturbed patterns of thought, feelings and behaviours. So if our thoughts are disturbed, it might mean that we are thinking negative thoughts about ourselves. Maybe we hate ourselves, or we're fat, we're ugly, we're stupid, whatever those negative words are. If they're disturbed and we're having constant negative thoughts, that's going to maybe have a negative impact on our feelings, because we're saying negative things, so it could make us then sad. And having negative thoughts, negative feelings may mean that we reach for behaviour that is negative, such as self-harm. So that's how our thoughts, emotions and feelings can be disturbed. There's a third way we could look at personality and say that personality is a pattern of relatively permanent traits and unique characteristics that give both consistency and individuality to a person's behaviour. So relatively permanent traits and unique characteristics. Permanent traits meaning things that we are constantly doing over and over again that pertain to our personality. So it might mean that one of the things that we are permanent traits is that we are always kind to people, so we never maybe we never say anything nasty about people behind their backs. And it might be that that one of the people that you love, I've got I've got many lovely friends, but there are some people that in my life I just think, you're so nice, you're much nicer than me, and that's a really positive trait that they have, that they're really nice people. Unique characteristics just means that that part of who you are, part of my characteristics, my unique characteristics, is that I say so a lot in these videos, and I repeat myself a lot, and I forget what I'm saying sometimes. Some people may think of me as a bit ditzy and a bit silly, you know, I'm not saying that's not the best example of it, but I'm just saying that you'll have your own things that are unique to you that other people don't have. So let's talk about this. It can be let's talk about personality. So it could be our persona. It's characteristic patterns of thought, emotion and behaviour, and a pattern of permanent traits and unique characteristics. So that, I would hope, sums up personality for you. But what does the term disorder mean? Well, it's a state of confusion, perhaps, a mess, disarray, chaos, disorganisation. So if we're taking that personality means our thoughts, emotions and our behaviours are disturbed, it means that, yeah, our thoughts are in a state of chaos. So if we've got chaotic thoughts, it means that they could be going round and round in our head. It could be a mixture of that person, I hate myself, I hate that person, and it's going over and over and over and over again. So what else are you supposed to do if that's going around your head? You can't concentrate on work, you can't you know, do maybe normal daily tasks. If your feelings are disturbed, it means that you could, like I say, I'm repeating myself, but if your feelings are disturbed, you could be feeling really, really angry about something when everyone else is feeling fine. So you may then be projecting this anger onto people, and they're probably like, whoa, where's this anger coming from? And then finally, if your behaviours are disturbed, you could be going towards drugs, you could be going towards alcohol, you could be going towards self-harm, you could even be going towards harming other people. So we don't want our personality to be disordered, but unfortunately that can happen. And I'm not going to talk about the causes, because I've talked about causes of mental illness in another video, but our genetics and environment will decide whether we get something like this. And like I say, it's 50-50, but if you are experiencing any of those kind of things in your personality, if you're experiencing disturbed thoughts, feelings and behaviours, it could be that not necessarily you're developing a personality disorder, but you could be starting to develop the more sort of early stages of mental illness, such as depression and anxiety. So let's talk about the main features of a personality disorder. So we've defined personality, we've defined disorder, excuse me, excuse me, and I hope I've explained them and put them into sort of real terms for you. What do you think? Tell me about your, do you want to give personality a different definition? You know, what are your thoughts on this subject? Please put them all in the comments below. So what are the main character traits? This is taken from the NHS Choices website, and the link is in the description. So 1, being overwhelmed by negative feelings such as distress, anxiety, worthlessness or anger. Again, disturbed feelings. So if you're disturbed feelings, you might be experiencing severe distress at the slightest issue, the slightest problem, the slightest thing that changes in your day. I know for me, I can get very overwhelmed if something changes in my day and I'm not expecting it. I can then go very I could get maybe quite angry and feel confused, and then my day may be thrown into a whole mess and gone into a complete disarray because something's changed and something's happened. So being overwhelmed by negative feelings, and if you're being overwhelmed by negative feelings, it's very hard for you to focus on other things like managing a job, and it can be very hard in managing relationships as well. So that's number 1, being overwhelmed by negative feelings. Number 2, avoiding people and feeling empty and emotionally disconnected. It might be that you're avoiding someone because they may trigger you, they may make your emotions change, make you feel angry, make you feel sad, or it might be that going out and seeing people, you're triggered by things, and you know, people looking at you or people questioning you or people laughing at you. It may make you avoid going out, so you might even then become quite emotionally disconnected from people. I know I do suffer from a little bit of agoraphobia, of going out. The fear of going out sometimes can make me not want to go out, or the fear of what's going to happen can make me not want to go out. So avoiding is another huge part of having a personality disorder. Difficulty managing negative feelings without self-harming. So we've got negative feelings going around in our head, which will then perhaps make us go towards behaviours such as self-harm. So and this can not just, I don't just mean cutting or blunt force trauma, you know, physical harm to yourself. I mean abusing drugs and alcohol, or taking overdoses, or even threatening other people. So you might get so disturbed by all these negative feelings of hate, and I hate myself, I'm worthless, I'm rubbish, everyone hates me, I'm never going to amount to anything, I'm a failure, all of those things going around and around in your head, and then it might make you go, oh, I can't cope with those feelings, therefore I want to self-harm. And that's somewhere that I've gone to many times when I've felt huge distress by overwhelming negative feelings. Sometimes the self-harm makes that stop. Not condoning self-harm, but that is somewhere where we go to sometimes. Sometimes just general odd behaviour. This is one of the points on from the NHS choices. It doesn't actually explain the odd behaviour, but I would say odd behaviour meaning that, you know, if you're having disturbed thoughts and disturbed feelings, your behaviours will then be odd. It could be that you're pacing around. It could be you could have, you know, psychomotor agitation, that you're rocking or tapping. It could be that you're speaking faster, speaking slowly. If you're feeling really low and really depressed, this will slow you down. If you're feeling hyper, well, I can get hypermanic, I talk faster, I act faster, and things like that. So people just may appear as if they're having just sort of odd behaviour that outside of the norms of what we would say normal behaviour is. So being distressed, being overwhelmed by negative feelings, avoiding people, difficulty managing feelings, odd behaviour. Then number 5, difficulty maintaining stable and close relationships, especially with partners, children and professional carers. Now this is, if you're having disturbed thoughts and disturbed feelings, then it could be that your partner, you know, you may be having arguments with your partner because you think they've said something, but maybe they didn't say it, and then you're kind of worrying that they did say it, and you know, you maybe not trusting them because of your disturbed feelings, and then your behaviour towards them might be violent, it might be aggressive, it might be anger. Whatever it is, having a personality disorder will have a huge impact on how you manage your relationships, because you're not able to control your behaviour necessarily, and you're not in control of your thoughts or your feelings. Finally, the last one, sometimes periods of losing contact with reality. This can happen, like I say, across the board with personality disorders, and it's called dissociation. I'll be doing a video on dissociation at some point. And this is when you're not with reality anymore. You're not necessarily in full psychosis, which is seeing and hearing things that aren't there, but you may be so detached from reality that you're not really living in the real. You're not living in the here and now, the moment. So you could appear to be very withdrawn, or appear to be kind of detached from reality. And with all of those symptoms, they all get worse when there's more stress. So when I get stressed, all my thoughts and my feelings and behaviours get much more out of control. I hope that has explained what a personality disorder is. You will get far more knowledge and understanding as more videos in this series appear on my channel. Thanks for watching today. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Take care, and I will see you next time. Cheers. Bye now.